Hillary Clinton had some company over the weekend, and it wasn't for a 4th of July picnic. According to her campaign manager, the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee spent hours Saturday morning being questioned by the FBI. Now, all of this had to do with their use of her private email server while leading the State Department. Clinton nor the FBI is commenting on that interview. Fellow Democratic Senator Cory Booker and possible running mate says he does not believe Clinton will be charged with a federal crime in connection to the investigation.
This is something that she voluntarily did that last summer she really wanted to do. So I think this is something that's just routine, and we're going to be seeing an investigation closing up. And I think she, like most Americans, wants this thing to be concluded and so we can move beyond it and focus on the real issues of this campaign.
And of course, Donald Trump had something to say about the whole thing. He tweeted Saturday, "It is impossible for the FBI not to recommend criminal charges against Hillary Clinton. What she did was wrong. What Bill did was stupid."
And what he's referring to is a recent meeting with Attorney General Loretta Lynch. She's been overseeing the whole Clinton email investigation. The two met on the tarmac of Phoenix International Airport. Lynch says the two talked about grandchildren and golf and never touched on her department's investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server. Still, she admits it was definitely a lapse in judgment.
And I certainly wouldn't do it again. Because I think it has cast this shadow over what it should not, over what it will not touch. It's important to make it clear that that meeting with President Clinton does not have a bearing on how this matter is going to be reviewed, resolved, and accepted by me.
While Lynch says she will accept guidance from the Justice Department, prosecutors, and the FBI.
Now, law enforcement expert, attorney, and former prosecutor Pete Schulte is here this morning just to shed some light on what's going to be next for Clinton. Pete, good morning. Now, the first question I want to start off with, some people are calling for Loretta Lynch to remove herself, recuse herself from this case. Is that even going to be warranted at this point?
Not at this point. I mean, she's the attorney general. Now, if she was a judge and Bill Clinton had a conversation, that's different. But we're talking about the attorney general. She's the lead prosecutor in the country. I have no problem with Bill Clinton having a conversation, just like she can have a conversation with anybody that she wants. But, you know, it does raise a few eyebrows, but you know what? She's a professional. If she says they didn't talk about it, they didn't talk about it. And it's not going to have any bearing on what happens.
So legally, I mean, it's perfectly okay. Just optically, on the political perspective, it just looks bad.
It looks bad.
Yeah.
Ethically, there's nothing wrong with it because that's how this thing works. I mean, they're both lawyers. I mean, that's how this process works.
Now, what happens following Hillary Clinton's interview with the FBI over the weekend? What are we going to see that is anything coming out of this?
No, you know, I've looked at the statutes. I mean, this thing's been dragging on forever. We've been hearing about emails. My biggest thing about this whole process is if we had proof that there was information that was leaked out to third world countries, to our enemies, then that's one thing. But we have no proof of that. The fact of the matter is when you look at the statutes, it says that somebody has to willfully do these things, and everybody was on board, knew what she was doing. So I think this is all a lot of talk about nothing. But the fact that she met with the FBI and was interviewed by the FBI as a criminal defense lawyer, I would tell my clients, no, run away.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to do that. But the fact that she did it tells me she's got nothing to hide. Her legal team has told her that. And I agree with that. Now, I'm a Democrat. I'll put that out there. But from a pure legal perspective, let's just get on with it. I mean, let's say we're not
It's been over a year now,
Yeah.
Okay, well, just to play devil's advocate, let's just say if she did become indicted, could this disqualify her from running?
No, an indictment is based on probable cause. That is the lowest level standard in our criminal justice system when it talks about bringing charges.
Right.
Doesn't mean beyond a reasonable doubt. To get from probable cause that something happened to beyond a reasonable doubt is a humongous leap. She will not be disqualified, but it will be unprecedented. If we have maybe a future president or a nominee who's going to have to go to trial while they're trying to take office. So it's unprecedented. I've been reading a lot over the weekend about some of the political pundits that are talking about this going, oh my gosh, I mean, it's like almost that they want it to happen. So we had, the 240th birthday of our country today, they want to have something else to talk about.
Oh. Well, what if so let's say she's not indicted. Could other people in her circle face charges because of this?
It could, and it just depends on what the facts show. But again, they're going to have proof and evidence that they willfully did this to try to circumvent the Federal Public Information Act or some of the other statutes that protect email data. But again, at the end of the day, when you look back and say, was any of this information leaked out? Nobody has said that. I don't know. You guys have never heard it. I've never heard it. I mean, there was no harm, no foul. If she's able to produce the emails, it's fine.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Happy Independence Day. Thanks for having me.
Happy Independence Day. All right, we got a lot still coming up on iPreneur this morning. Hosting